It's the last day of Rachel and Kirsty's vacation. They still have to find Heather the Violet Fairy, but instead of looking for her, they go fly a kite. These girls are idiots.
Argo Flump Book Review, Argo Flump Book Review.
Someone ties a violet ribbon to the kite. Please don't ask who did this because it will never be explained. That's a shame because I seriously want to know who can grab a kite in midair. Yeah, I know it's probably a fairy who did it, but I don't understand why the fairies would use this roundabout method of communication instead of talking directly to Rachel and Kirsty. The ribbon has "Follow Me" written on it, the ribbon flies in the wind, and the girls follow it to a merry-go-round. So whoever placed the ribbon controls the wind too? Now I really want to know who's behind the ribbon! The girls ride on the merry-go-round, and it's magical. They look at the picture on the inside of the carousel. There's a fairy in the picture, which means it's time to use the last magic item. Today's item is a paintbrush. Oh, yay! So magical. They use the paintbrush on the fairy, and Heather comes out of the picture. Hooray! We saved all 7 rainbow fairies! They take Heather to her sisters, and yes, there are lots of pictures of all the fairies together. Jack Frost appears to stop the fairies from returning to Fairyland. They try to stop him with magic raindrops, but it doesn't work. Heather traps Jack Frost inside a magic bubble. That works, and Jack starts to melt to death. If Jack Frost dies, people will call Heather the Violent Fairy, not the Violet Fairy. So they have mercy on Jack Frost, and Sky changes Jack's prison into a snow globe. The fairies say they have to save Jack Frost because without him there will be no winter. Let me check the list of Rainbow Magic Fairy books. Oh, what do you know? There are at least 5 snow and winter fairies in this series. I think winter will be safe without Jack Frost around. Rachel and Kirsty become fairies again, and everyone is transported to Fairyland through a rainbow. Color returns to the world, which is hard to tell because all the illustrations are in black and white. They visit the Fairy King and Queen. Jack Frost promises to stay in his ice castle and never bother the fairies again, as long as he's invited to next year's ball. The fairies eagerly accept his offer, and Jack Frost gives a genuine smile as he goes back home. The fairies give Rachel and Kirsty snow globes as a goodbye present. They promise to always remember each other whenever they use the snow globes. The end. Post-book follow-up. Jack Frost is now a good person. Rachel and Kirsty will never see each other again. Clearly, they were not planning to have a gajillion sequels where Jack Frost is the villain again, and the girls hang out so often they might as well be roommates. The book isn't clear about how large Jack Frost is. The only picture with him and the fairies in it indicates he's about a fairy and a half tall. So smaller than his goblins? I don't want to belabor this point, but Rachel and Kirsty are much bigger than Jack Frost and the goblins. Why are they such a threat? The girls could easily sit on Jack Frost and refuse to get up until he leaves the fairies alone. That would be a hilarious way to defeat Jack Frost. The second half of the book is extra long compared to previous books. The final 3 chapters are so long, they don't make up half the book, they make up 2/3 of the book. I kind of like the extra long chapters because they had good pacing, and it was neat to have an extended fight with Jack Frost. I was less interested in seeing more of Fairyland, but that was okay too. Like the previous book, this book was somewhat different from the others, and it was generally okay. If the series had ended here, this would have been a perfectly fine note for it to go out on. I give Rainbow Magic number 7, Heather the Violet Fairy, a thumbs up.